Hello and good afternoon, this is Adam Taylor with the ITS Group. In this series we've done a complete end-to-end deployment starting with the original download all the way through to the last of the mobile clients and the scheduling data. What I'm now going to do is just undo all my hard work, completely set everything back to how they were out of the box, and then do one straight run through in one sitting. Just to reiterate what we've already covered, that is domain level GPO deployments, that is setting up 2 servers, installing various clients, various consoles, linking the MIS data, setting some custom blank screens, and downloading and configuring the mobile apps so it all fits together into one cohesive system. Typically when we install this for a customer we look at about sort of 60 to 90 minutes depending on the complexity and depending on how many platforms we're looking to cover. Ideally I'm looking to get everything done in under an hour. So this may be an hour-long video. Just a couple of other things to consider. I am going to be removing everything and starting completely from scratch. So removing the ADMX templates, the ADML files, even the download. I'm going to start right at the beginning and get right through to the end. So I will start by nuking all of my lovely virtual machines and resetting them all back to how they were this morning. There we go, so I've now deleted all of my virtual machines, wiped them completely clean back to their out-of-the-box settings. If we go over here, see the AD groups, so I've deleted the staff groups, have to create those again. Going over here, all of my OUs are without policies. Go to group policy objects, they've all been, oh no, missed one. There we go. Now we're clean. And I've deleted the install files. So to start with, we want to go to the LanSchool customer portal. So it's stoneware.com. Log in with your settings. Go to LanSchool downloads. And then we want to go to eligible updates. Find LanSchool 8026. Hit download, and then select English. So there we go. Done. So once that's unzipped, you just want to put that onto a network share. So we'll go C drive, that into my software folder. And then delete the old zip as well. And there we have it. So those are the install files ready to be set up and deployed out. So the very first thing, once you've got your LanSchool files onto a network share, one that can be read from by all consoles, clients, teachers, staff machines and the domain, then it's very easy to set up the group policies. First thing we want to do is just get these certificates over into the store. So that'll be these. And we just need to put these into a couple of places. So the first one is C Windows policy definitions. Just paste those in there. Then go to the ENUS folder and just take the language files and just copy and paste those into there. That's done. Now we go up a layer and we're going to scroll down to sysvol. That's SYSVOL. Again, we just want to go to domain policies, policy definitions, and we'll just paste them into there as well. And grab the ADMX files and copy those in. So that's those added. That's now added those to the central store, and they're ready to be pushed out. So the next thing we want to do is go to our Active Directory users and computers. Go to the staff section and we're going to create 2 new groups. The first one of these is going to be called LanSchool Teachers, and then we're going to create another new group. We're going to call that LanSchool Tech Console Admins. Job done. We just want to open up each of these and add a few members to each. So on the teacher side, I want to have Ed and add Aaron, and I'll add George. There we go. On the tech console admins, I'm going to go to members, just add in Chris. There we go. Now that's done, we can go over to the group policy editor and we can start creating our GPOs for each of the 4 roles. So that's LanSchool teachers, students, safeguarding team, and then technicians, ranking in the order of least rights to most. So we'll start off by right clicking, creating a new policy. We'll call this one LanSchool Tech Console. Double click that to open it. And we want to go to the software installer, new, and we're going to create a new package. So we'll go to the Tech Console subfolder, and we'll go for the Tech Console MSI. Then I'm going to go down to Preferences, Windows Settings, Registry. We can add a few keys here. So we'll start off by pointing it to the source folder, which is HKey local machine, software WoW 6432 node, and then we'll do /LanSchool Tech Console. So the first of these will be thumbnail delay, which is a dword value of 100. Now create another key. Actually no, we'll copy that one and save ourselves some time. So the next one will be color reduction with a value of 0. Copy another one. And this time we'll go with auto approve remote control. The value of 1. And that's going to allow us to automatically control machines without permission. And then the final one we'll do will be IP direct beacons. Now be a multi-string. So we'll put in our connection server in the top row, and we'll put a subnet mask in the second row. Press enter to create a third line with nothing on it. It should be directed broadcast, IP directed bcast. Press apply, and job done. So that's GPO number 1. Now we're going to copy that one. And we're going to make a very similar version of it. We'll rename that the LanSchool Safeguarding Console. So now we'll open that one up and just make some tweaks here. So on the policies, software settings, software installation, we want to delete all tasks, remove, and now we're going to add a new package, and that package is going to be Windows Teacher. And there we go. So we use the Teacher MSI because it's the same basic structure, it's the same MSI software, we just make some changes on the registry level to change some of the features around. So here we want to enable channel select. And then we're going to go into the preferences, Windows, registry. And we just want to change each of these from LanSchool Tech Console just to straight LanSchool. So I'll copy that. we go, that's all changed. I'm just going to make one more off color reduction, and that's going to be channel, because we want the safeguarding team to be able to see every student, regardless of where they are. So that's done, and that's finished. So you can close that. Now I'm going to make a copy of it. Paste that in. Oops. Now we want to select it, go to rename, and this will become our LanSchool teacher console. So edit that. So we need to make some changes. The MSI will stay the way it is. Within the 64 but within the group policy settings, we're going to turn off channel select because teachers don't get it, and we're going to make sure that these are set up for our dynamic class lists, so we know which mobile devices are in which classes at which times. So I just need to enable that, and I need to grab a link. And that'll be under class lists. So you just copy that whole file path in. That will be the directory for your dynamic class lists. Last one then is just to define the type, and the type should always be the login name. There we go. Finally, we'll just set some install options. The two install options I tend to go for would be the Active Directory secure mode, so making sure that the user of the console is a member of the staff group, and then also the network tampering controls, so they can't just pull a quick and dirty one and yank the cable out. So we just add those two values together. That's 5, 12, and 16 for a total of 528. You just put 528 in the box. That'll enable those things by default. And then the last thing we want to do is just change one thing on the registry, and that is to remove the channel, because again, it's different for teachers. Apart from that, everything else is good to go, so we can leave that. That's policy number 3. And now the last one we'll make from scratch, called the LanSchool student client. Go to edit, go to policies, software installation, new package. This time we'll use the student MSI. Go to administrative templates, LanSchool student. And we can choose to put this on the server or not. I'm going to choose not to. If you do decide to do that, just enable it and put your server IP address in there. If you don't define this, it means that the students will be working in peer-to-peer broadcast mode, which is generally better if the teacher is on the same subnet as they are, but it does mean they can't be seen by anything on another VLAN, like potentially a tech console. And then the last thing we need to do is just one more registry key. So we'll create a new registry key. Oops. So again, local machine, software, wow, it's 6432 node, /LanSchool. And we're going to set a file path, C LanSchool file. Nope, that's completely wrong. We're going to set that to student dest folder. And there we go. The space, perfect. And we can change that at any time if we want to point towards another map folder or a network location. Cool, so that is our fourth and final GPO done. And I think that's everything we need to do here. So what I'm now going to do is just tidy up and then slip this back into place. Okay, now I'm going to bring my virtual machines back. There we go, machines are back. I'm just going to do one more thing on the domain, which is to do a GP update, just to refresh the policy. Perfect. There we go, so I can zip that back up. So the next thing to do will be the LanSchool connection server. So we open up our LCS machine, like that. Again, we just need to find the installer. So that'll be software, ITS, LanSchool. And that'll be Windows. And that's the connection server. And then we're looking for the LCS MSI, which is the only object in that folder. Just give that a run. And that will begin the wizard. Again, there isn't really much we need to configure here. The one flag is to enable a security mode. Password secure mode locks things down on a local level with a local admin password. Active Directory secure mode is really where you want to be if you're using Active Directory. This will leverage the security groups we created earlier. So let's click next. And that should whiz through. There we go, finished. Now just before we start the service, we want to grab the two MSI files. So again, that was software, ITS, LanSchool. Take the teacher and the student MSI and just pop these into program files x86 LanSchool. This will then perform a version check whenever a client connects to make sure that everything's at the same value, whether it's the server version or the teacher version or the student version, they're all kept linked together. So the last thing we need to do is just give the service a reboot to control for that. So we just scroll down to L for LanSchool, LanSchool connection server, and we just want to restart the service. There we go, job done. So now what we'll do is just minimize that, go to the desktop, and double click there to launch. There we go, and we just want to set the auto refresh to 5 seconds. So that is our connection server in place. This gives us a point of reference to point all of our mobile clients towards. If you have a look at the task manager, there's very little load on the network. See, it's idle, but the point is that this doesn't require a lot of resource. If we look at the status page, we can see the version is 8.0.2.6 and the version of the MSIs is also 8.0.2v6, and that's very important. It means if they all line up, then when a client connects to the connection server, it will check its version against this version, and if it's an older version, it will then push down the correct MSI and do an over-the-top update for you immediately, instantly, and automatically. So nothing extra required there to keep you locked to the same version. Connection server is now done. We will of course keep referring back to it. Let's just pop it into a corner for now. So the next one is the report server. Give that a spin. And again, it's a very similar and familiar process. So we just want to go grab the installer, go to software, ITS, LanSchool, find our zip file. And this time it's the tech console subfolder and it's the report server setup.exe. So we want to right click on that and click on Run as Administrator. There we go. And there's no settings to configure here at all. So just let that run through. Obviously, if you do have any issues with ports being blocked, this is when they will pop up. So if you have IIS installed, if you don't have .NET 4.5 installed, both of those errors pop up here. But so far so good. Looks like we're about there. And then once this is done, the LanSchool report server will prompt you for a reboot. So we'll need to reboot the server. And then after that, we'll be ready to launch the service. There we go. So we hit finish. That will do an automatic restart. And there we go. So there we go. So just quickly do a check on the service, make sure it's running. And the report server will automatically connect to the LanSchool connection server if and when it finds one. So there's no issues with regards to pointing it towards anything, it'll automatically detect it. There we go, LSK announce, running and automatic. So with that in place, there's nothing else that we should need to be able to do here. If we then open up a browser window, and just ignore all of the new IE window prompts, just go to localhost. It does sometimes take a minute. We want to disable any more of those IE prompts, they're just annoying, and then we'll type in our default login details of administrator LanSchool. And you can save the password. And there's our lovely blank report server interface. So I'm just going to grab the database file. So the report server uses SQLite rather than full SQL, which means that you can back up the database as just one single tiny file. This is a live database and it's only 200 kilobytes. So if we just take it, and we're going to pop that in C program files x86 report server, and just paste that in, just overwrite the one that's there. Obviously there's nothing in it because we've just initialized it. There we go, do a quick refresh here, boom, reports. Lovely, so that's fully populated now, and the report server can also get tucked away. Its role is done. So now we just need to go through a round of reboots. I typically do 2 per machine, and that will allow us to push down the policy and then the second one to actually install it with the settings we've chosen. So I'll run through these very quickly. And last one. There we go. So I'll take the tech console. And we're going to log in as our network technician. We're also going to pray to the policy gods that these push down correctly. And if it's done correctly, the LanSchool tech console will now be waiting for us in the start menu. So let's go to start.
A few moments later.
So I've now come back with the valuable lesson as to why my group policies weren't pushing down. The key to a good group policy object is you actually assign it to an OU so that it does push out to someone, rather than doing what I did, which was just create them and then leave them alone. Let's put those where they should be. We've got student, teacher, safeguarding, and then tech console on the technicians group. Go to GP update. And because replication isn't always instant, we'll go over to the second domain controller and just do that one as well. There we go. Right, now let's try this again. So I'm going to do a double reboot on each machine, one to push down the policy and one for the MSI to actually initiate and load and reboot and restart. So let's go through all of these quickly right now. Okay, so those will be booting up nicely. Let's grab a look at number 1. So I'll just wait for the last 2 machines to fully boot up. Give my CPU a little nice break. There we go. And if everything's been done correctly, as it wasn't before, then this will push down the LanSchool Tech Console MSI and the registry settings and get it all nice and ready for us under the Start menu. And there we have it. There's our LanSchool Tech Console. Perfect. And we've even got 2 clients that have already booted in, which is even better. So we just want to go to Manage and then Preferences. Yep, that's all imported nicely, which means the other registry keys have as well. Under Tech, we just want to change the message. We'll change it to Locked by System Admin, all caps to get their attention. And yep, that's all looking good. Great, so that teacher's probably still installing. The others will all need another reboot. And we just want to grab the MSI files as well, so we can stick those in program files. So that will be under Software, Zip file, Windows, get the teacher and the student. I'm going to copy those files, stick them in program files, LanSchool Tech Console. There. There we go. And the other thing we want to do as well is just to go and grab the security utility. We'll grab the other one, we'll grab Student Diagnostics as well. These 2 utilities, they're both very useful. We'll pop them somewhere locally so we can run them locally. There we go. Launch the security monitor. Set the firewall exceptions. Lovely. And then here we can do set up the email alerts so we can be notified whenever a new console joins the network against our will. We're just going to stick that in the corner and watch it populate over time. So that is the Tech Console done. Put that up there. And as we've seen in the interface, everyone else needs a reboot. So we'll do another round of those. And that's the problem with group policy, is that sometimes you need to reboot machines a few times for them to take, especially when you're doing a software deployment. It's usually 2 steps. The policy gets pushed down on the first one, the MSI requires a reboot, so you actually require a second reboot to get that to load, and then once that's done you're good to go. But rarely 3, so let's just do one more to be safe. In a live environment, these will just naturally push down as people kind of just, use the machines in general, log in, log out, reboot them. So maybe we just keep our Tech Console up there for now. So the next one we'll do is the eSafety console. Log in as Aaron Anderson, who's our designated safeguarding lead today. Come on, LanSchool. There it is. Perfect. So we'll cancel the registration prompt. We're going to go. Cool, we've got 2 students. So what we're going to do is, first things first, we're going to load our safeguarding profile, which we made earlier. Go to C. Nope. Try again. Go to the share. And profiles and safeguarding. And default. There we go. That's reconfigured the toolbar. We'll now go to blank screen, configure. Change the default message of locked by safeguarding. We're going to replace that with a lovely custom blank screen instead. And this will accept any JPEG or PNG file. I'd recommend that you make your own, customize it, make the software your own. Yep, this looks good. And what we can now also do is we can save the profile And if you put a default LSP file into the root of LanSchool on a local machine, it means that that is the profile that gets loaded when you first load LanSchool on that machine. So this will prompt me for UAC. And that just means the profile is now retained with the blank screen as part of it, so that's never going to change, which is awesome. So the safeguarding console is now set up. Let's put that away. We'll grab our teacher. And we can sort of see in the tech console things are happening. New machines are joining slowly but surely. The log is also populating, which means that some level of network activity is occurring, whether that's the MSI being pushed down, the teacher loading for the very first time. Okay, that's 2. And student 1 appears to be missing, so again that might need another reboot. But again, for this one, we just want to load profile. And it's going to be a desktop teacher. Change that message, place it with a nice custom blank screen image instead. There we go. And we'll save that profile. We'll do the same for each one of these. So you can now push this LSP out as part of your policy, your group policy. And that's going to include, that's going to change every LanSchool teacher console to meet that specification. So the toolbar config you've picked, any of the settings you've chosen, and the custom blank screen will all be part of the default profile, which is what you want. There we go, that's 2. There we go, so our desktop teacher is now done. Pop that back into place. We're going to grab our mobile teacher. So we'll just click on that to load it. And then we're going to go to profiles. Software, ITS, LanSchool, profiles, teach mobile. Load that in. Job done. Change the blank screen. Just going to wipe that out and replace it with a custom image. So again, we just want to put our default.lsp, our default profile, into program files x86 LanSchool. Just paste that in. Job done. There we go. So we'll pop that one off to the side. That's done. And it looks like we're missing one client, which is this one. So we'll just give this one more reboot so it has a chance to catch the policy. Just while that's rebooting, if we just have a quick look at the LanSchool tech console. we can see that there is quite a large log. See all of the various things that have been going on the network, so it's recording all of it. It's telling us when new teachers and consoles are jumping on. We can see each of the logins as well: A. Anderson, C. Chapman, G. Gibson, all logging in. And in the background we can see our teacher machines are populating in. So what we'll do is we'll just stick the tech console back over there for now, and we're going to authenticate into each one of these students. Okay, now that everything has booted up and logged in and loaded, let's just pop everything back up into the bar. Okay, we'll now expand out our tech console, and we're going to move everyone around. So we'll move the Windows machines into a channel together. So we'll go to change channel, put them into 11111. And the admin address is prompted. We can see some of these clients dying off in the background, so that's a good sign. It means they're reloading. There we go. We will now move the mobile teacher into their own channel. Perfect. So now that's done, we can pop the tech console back. We'll refocus our attention on the eSafety console. And we'll go Administer, Preferences, Keystroke Alerts, Load. And we'll go for the keyword list, load the LSB file in. And there's our keyword alerts there. And there's our keyword list. Lovely. Now we'll pop the eSafety console back and put it back in the bar. And we'll start bringing our mobile clients in. So if we just keep the tech console out so we can see each client as it joins. Go into the Google Play Store with the Android tablet. And download the LanSchool student. There we go, so that's downloaded. And log in with G Suite account details. That should pop up. And there we go, it's right there. There we go, we can now see our LanSchool client appearing on the screen in the corner there. Put that down, and now grab the iPad, and we'll do the same. Yeah, you just want to go to the App Store for this, and you want to look up the LanSchool student application. Once you've downloaded that, you should be able to add that in to your fleet fairly easily. Just go into the settings and point it towards the LanSchool connection server, or you can use it in peer-to-peer as well. There we go. It's downloaded, it's installed. And there's our iPad. Excellent. So that's all working well. We'll pair up our iPad with our LanSchool Teacher console and allow us to use it as the second screen, the LanSchool Teacher's Assistant. So to do that, we just need to download the other application on the iPad, and that will be your LanSchool Teacher Assistant application from the App Store. And there's no configuration needed, you just need to run it. It will then present you with a nice list of consoles. With that list of consoles, you just select the one you want to pair with. So in this case, it's Teacher 3. Go to Administer on Teacher 3, Manage Teacher's Assistants, and then we can see the iPad pending approval. So we just need to select it, check the box, hit Authorize, and then it's going to bring up a passcode on the screen, which you can see here, 2426. X4. Always helps to get it right. There we go, done. Perfect. And now the iPad can see the teacher console, although there's no clients listed. So the last thing we want to do is bring our Chromebook in, and to do that we just need to jump into G Suite. So we'll open up a new tab, pull that down, go to admin.google.com. Next. Then we'll go to Device Management, Chrome Management, User Settings, go to the LanSchool OU, quick search for Force, Manage Force, Chrome Web, and then LanSchool. We'll just add in our 2 there. Job done, hit save. Done. Now go back up to Chrome, go down to App Management, find our LanSchool student. Under User Settings, just go to our OU. Make sure the Allow Installation and Force Installation are both on, and then we need to create a config file. There we go, so we'll just create that, called LanSchool test, IP address of the connection server, very important, and turn off the full screen thumbnails, click create and then hit save, and that will save a config.json file for us to import. Upload configuration, config.json, scroll down, hit save, and that's your lot. So now we go out our Chromebook, log in, and then last but not least we're going to go to the class list, load dynamic, pick our class, hit load. There you go, you'll get a notification on all 3 clients to let you know that that has loaded, the class has now begun, and our interface should now populate with our clients. There it is, there's all 3. So we've got our iPad, our Android and our Chromebook all working together in unison. Lovely. And now that they're all loaded, any of them can be played with by anyone. So we'll just do a quick round of that. So we've got our tech console first and foremost, so we'll initiate a site-wide lockdown that's going to lock all teachers and staff machines. Locked by sysadmin. Release the blank. Move that up there. Next one to have a turn will be the LanSchool safeguarding console. Again, this can see what 6 clients we have. We hit blank and confirm all. We get a lovely locked by safeguarding notification. Release. Now we'll grab the desktop teacher. Do a desktop teacher blank. And you can see we've got a nice locked by teacher with a blackboard and an apple. Release. And then last but not least, grab our mobile teacher and do a mobile teacher blank. And we can now see that that is also blanked by teacher. And there we go, that is a standard full-scale LanSchool deployment. Took a little bit longer than I expected. I'm hoping to do it in under an hour, and I think that was probably closer to 90 minutes or so, which is what we would normally set aside for, but it doesn't control for any potential issues. we might have during the install process, any potential pitfalls you might fall into. So what we're going to do is I'm going to torture myself, we're going to wipe it all off, we're going to do it all over again, this time learning from the mistakes I made, and we'll try and get it done in under 1 hour. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Adam Taylor with the ITS Group. If you found any part of this video useful, please do leave us a like, please do leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel. Really am aiming to keep it updated at least once or twice every single week. And we'll be adding new content, some really cool stuff that's never been seen, never been documented before, some of the hidden features of LanSchool. Hopefully very exciting. Thanks again, and good luck with your rollout.